guys, how's it going? Today we're going to start working with some of the brand new annuals that are coming out from Proven Winners next year in 2025. I am so excited to show you some close-ups of these plants. I'm excited to get them in containers. We're going to also be putting some in the ground. I'm going to be working on this over the course of a few days because we've got a lot of plants to look at. But here's a little preview. Look at all the color. Oh my goodness, like this one right here is Supertunia Tiara Pink. There's Tiara Blue right here. There's some new dahlias. Yes, I am going to be planting a little red. I think if I do it in a red, white, and blue sort of situation, I can make it pass in my garden. Usually I don't do a whole lot of red, but I'm just excited to try these plants. And we have a lot of hummingbirds this year, and I think they're gonna really like that red salvia. Anyway, before we get started with any of the planting, we've got to move some containers into their spots. And I'm just gonna be tucking them into flower beds. We're gonna run drip to them, but I think it will add some structure out here into the south garden because, you know, we don't have a ton of structure. It's mostly just plants. So I think it'll look really good. So there's Paul and Aaron. They're gonna be helping with the concrete moving. You can see one of the pots, Paul got as far as the grass, but we didn't want to drive the tractor on the grass. So I think we're going to try to manhandle it over into its location. And we've got this little spot right here. I think it would look really pretty to tuck a pot right here. We've got the Aphrodite, Calycanthus right back there, which that one will be, there's the bunny. Oh, do you see it? Hold on, it's right by the orchard fence right there. There it is. Well, it went under that willow. These are two of the pots we're going to use though, right here. Oh my gosh, we're not used to seeing bunnies in our garden, and we've just noticed that one has taken up residence in the last couple of weeks. Hopefully it's not a girl bunny. Anyway, I don't even know where I was at in explaining, but here comes the container, and it's going to pop in right here. Oh, that looks great. I think I was in the middle of explaining what these shrubs will do around this area. Aphrodite, Calycanthus, and then we have a blue meringue lilac right there. So I think having a little something solid in this location will look really pretty. And it will be backed by stuff eventually, and we may not keep it here permanently. That's kind of the beauty of popping pots around. You can shift things around if you don't love it, or you can leave it forever if you do love it. We're gonna go ahead and get the other 3 containers placed, and then we'll start in with our planting. Okay, all 4 pots have been set. We did put one over here on this side of the south garden. The other 3 are on the other side. I always just want to make sure that I place things far enough apart. Like right now, we can see the big urn behind us from, and we're gonna plant that one today, but we can see that one from here, which I don't ideally love, but this totem pole grass and the hydrangea will grow and block the view. That way things don't start looking too cluttered. But we got drip run up through the drain hole of each one of the containers, so that's all set. Got this one filled with soil and the plants laid out, and it's going to be so pretty. And all brand new plants for next year. So for the centerpiece, we're going to be doing the Angelonia Angel Face Wedgwood Pink. And they've got such a beautiful bicolor. So we've got that soft pink with the white. They look kind of orchid-esque slash snapdragon-esque. I don't know, they're just so pretty. And I want to say that this one grows like 18 to 30 inches tall, so we'll have a really nice tall centerpiece. And then I've surrounded it with a second layer. We've got a couple of different varieties of Kufia that are so neat looking. So also, they're making their tags out of recycled material now, which is so cool. But this is a Totally Tempted Vivid Violet, 8 to 16 inches tall. This is one that the pollinators are going to love. Now I only had 2 of those on hand, so I've got 1, 2. So I had to come in, this is a Frosted Violet Kufia. So it's close enough in color. I mean, you can tell I'm going for pinks and purples in this arrangement, that I think that that'll work out just fine. But oh, this one right here in particular, I think is so pretty. Then we've got a dahlia called Virtuosa Vibrant Violet. And these stay on the smaller side. I want to say 16 to 18 inches tall. These are all brand new plants to me, so I'm going to have to really learn all the stats here. But I think that that'll be a perfect mix to go next to the Kufia, and it'll bring that bold pop so that we don't have a lot of really fine looking flowers, but we'll have something nice and big in there. So pretty, and I love the fact that it doesn't get massive. So we've got 3 of those, and then I've got 3 of the Supertunia Tiara Blue and 3 of the Supertunia Tiara Pink, which are so pretty. They just have that glow with that white center, and I haven't seen a Supertunia like this come out from Proven Winners before. This is like a completely different vibe, different look, and I love it. So if you look in here, you can see I've added in the slow release fertilizer already. So now we just have to plant it up. Oh, I get so excited to work with new plants. Oh! You know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna take them all out so we can actually see what's going on here. And most of these are in those Eco Pots, the Eco Grande, zero plastic, compost ready. They're also plantable. I don't think that they mean for you to plant these in the ground necessarily, because they do take a couple of seasons to break down. But the point is you can, and they will break down, or you can toss them into your compost pile, which is cool. I planted Super Bells in the ground in these last year, and they did great. Okay, in with our centerpiece. I'm gonna go in with the dahlias, making sure to pack in soil around all the root balls. Now the Kufia. Oh, so pretty. Now the Supertunias. Look at how gorgeous this mix is, especially once we get some height on that Angelonia in the center and the Supertunias start to spill over. Oh, it's gonna be so pretty. And I like this container right here because I just had this big open area with not a lot in it. And we will, I mean, these are globe thistles, so they'll bloom like a blue color. And I put some Supertunia Mini Vista Indigos in here. There are things going, but just not a ton. So that really lights up this location. Oh, I did load up some extra Tiara Pink that I think I'm gonna plant in the ground right down here. I've focused mostly on pink and purple in this area. We're kind of in a lull. You know, the pink salvia is done, but we've got Russian sage in here and some hibiscus, the lavender hibiscus. So anyway, I think it'd be pretty to have a little drift of those Tiara Pinks, especially because we're kind of close to that, so it'll be all tied together. And then we can test out their performance in the ground versus in the container. So let's get those in the ground. Looks pretty. Let's move on to our next container, which is going to be our red, white, and blue one. This one is going to be so much fun. It's really hard in this garden to find a location to pop some red in without there being a really cool pink next door to it. The closest pink is right over here. Across the grass over there, the Supertunia Vista bubblegum. And then in this area, we've got white roses, and then this big drift of annuals we just did of the soft yellow and the blue and the white, which goes great with this little pop of red. So our centerpiece is not a new plant for 2025, but it's a beautiful one. This is an Angelonia, Angel Face White, which will be our nice tall accent in the center. I kind of followed the same pattern as our first container, something tall in the center and then something lower, and then our spillers over the edge. And then we went in with the red. So we've got the unplugged red salvia. These right here are an incredible pollinator magnet. Anything that has that kind of tube-shaped flower, the bright color, and it's got the really pretty salvia leaf there, that kind of sagey green. And then we have the classy carmine dahlia, and again we'll have our nice bold texture there. And then the tiara blue Supertunia, and then a Stardiva scaevola. Full name is Stardiva Blue, and scaevolas usually perform really well for us, both in containers and in the ground. So let's get this one planted up. I did already add in my slow release fertilizer. You see the little yellow balls in there. I love the container in this location too, because standing right here looking from this direction, you don't see any other containers. Standing right here, you still don't see any containers. In fact, I don't think you see any containers from any location or any angle of this pot. You can see the little girl statue way over there. It's perfect. All done. I just love these wide containers too, because you can really pack stuff in there. Now I'm going to need to come along in a little bit. I'm going to go get a watering can so I don't have to drag hoses everywhere. And we'll give the container a clean on the sides and we'll get everything watered in. But oh, this blend is beautiful. It actually surprises me how much I love that. It just looks so festive and fun. Okay, I think we're going to tackle the first container we placed next. This one turned out so sweet. So again, I went in with the Wedgwood Pink Angelonia here, which I think will be a beautiful centerpiece along with these other plants. The Bluebird Nemesia is not a new one, but this Nemesia is unlike other ones that I've grown. Many of the older varieties tend to fizzle out in the summer heat, but like the coconut and the bluebird and the Aromanth, it's a mulberry, smells so good. Those tend to keep going through the whole season. It's really fun. There's a bug in my hair, hang on. Or bug or dirt, I can't tell. Oh, it's a spider, excellent. Ugh. Anyway, it's really nice to have that kind of texture that will maintain throughout the heat. And then a new Supertunia Mini Vista called Plum Veined. Such a pretty pink color. Now we'll have to see how this one and this one cohabitate. The Vista Supertunias seem to be fairly aggressive, so we'll see how things go. Right now it looks so beautiful. And I did pop some extra Plum Veined in the Gator so that I could pop them in the ground. And last night, the kids and I came out here and planted some annuals, lemon coral and the Surefire rose begonias, and I am not digging in the light of day. It was kind of dusk when we came out here, but I'm not liking that warm color of pink with the cool Veronica and the cool, this is the double Ringo double pink rose. So I'm gonna pop these out in favor of this color of pink, and we're gonna go put these somewhere else. I think I would enjoy that more. And it should go really quick. Here we go. Oh, those look so much better right there. Oh, that was just jarring my eye so bad. Sometimes it's worth it to make those changes, especially this early in the season. Now I'll really enjoy that little pocket. Yeah, look at that from this angle. And I do have a few more of those that I'm gonna pop in right in here. I think I've got about 10 of them. Well, I only had 8 left, so I ended up having to fill in a couple holes, but here they are at the end of this flower bed. And I think with some of the extra leftovers, like, you know, maybe if we've got some more Angelonia or something like that, we can pop that in around this area, and then maybe something else that grows a little bit lower. But I think this is beautiful. This is an Elizabeth rose, which is a light pink. Just planted that recently. And then there's the Caryopteris autumn joy sedum, a geranium that is way too tall. It has no business being at the front of a border. Did I read the tag wrong? I mean, that's like closing in on 36 inches tall here. Way too close to the front of the border for how big it is. So we need to make a mental note of that when it's later on in the season or maybe next spring. We need to dig that and move it somewhere more appropriate because it just blocks the view of everything beyond it. Last year, it did not grow this tall. It was about half this size, so it was perfect. It was a perfect blend with the Veronica next to it. Now look at this. Woo, that's too much of a drop. So anyway, something to note for fixing later on, and that just happens sometimes. But this whole border's filling in beautifully. I love it. We've got 2 containers left to plant. Let's go get the great big urn done on the other side because I need to go get more soil anyway. And then we've got a littler one that's the same style as the one that we just planted up. It's further on down this grass pathway here in the south garden. Oh, this turned out pretty. So in the center, I used the Virtuoso Pinkerific Dahlia. I think that'll be a really nice, just low-mounded centerpiece. And then surrounded that with the Supertunia Bermuda Beach, which this is not a new one, but they have improved the performance of this plant. And then there's the Stardiva Blue. I think it's such a gorgeous mix of color, and I think the dahlia goes beautifully with it too. And most importantly, it goes with the lemony lace elderberry. It kind of has that warmth a little bit, and this pink is a little bit more of a warm pink, so I think it just goes really well. But oh my goodness, look at this weed. It's as tall as the plant. See if we can't get it out of here. Got it. Look at this beast. Oh my goodness, and there's another one in there too. Different type of weed. I just wanted to step over to this side to show you the urn kind of popping through all that stuff right there, all the plants. It's a nice pop of color. Okay, 1 container left. Okay, got the last container done, and the centerpiece you can't really see right now because it doesn't have any blooms, but it does have buds. This is a new dahlia called Virtuoso Dayglow Yellow. It's a very bright, cheerful yellow. Surrounded that with the Tiara Supertunia, the Tiara Blue, and Stardiva White Scaevola, which they're already huge. But I went with that kind of neutral-ish color combination because we're dealing with a very bright pink and we're dealing with sort of a warm orangey red. These are a Senorita Rose, and when they are in bud form, they are very, very warm, reddish orange. And then as they open, they kind of turn into that beautiful apricot kind of glow. So I had to use something that would go with both the warmth and with the cool. White, purple, and most of the time yellow can go either way. Okay, I'm gonna stand in the shade of this tree right here. Oh, it's warm today, but I love that container right there. I mean, there's nothing back here really. Not immediately around it, but there will be one of these days. We're working on it. It amazes me when I look back at this space at what it looked like just 3 years ago, or even just 2 years ago at that. But it's fun to get more pieces like this placed out here. And like I said, if it turns out that it would do better or look better 6 feet away, we can move it, or, you know, take it out completely and move it somewhere else. It's just a fun way to utilize containers. And standing here looking at that container, I rotate to the left. I can barely see the red, white, and blue one we did. And I can almost not see. I can see the flowers in the other urn, but I can't see the urn itself. I'm just a little weird about that. I just don't like when things start to look a little too cluttered with the hardscape. So anyway, I think it went well. I think all the placement was good today. I love working with the new plants and showing you guys there's still several more new varieties in the high tunnel that we'll be using in projects probably over the next few days. And you will see some repeats too. Like I know I've got some more Scaevola to plant out, and I want to have it both in containers and in the landscape so that we can show you at the end of the season, like this is how it looks in the landscape in full sun, or this is how it looks in the landscape with half a day sun or in a container with other things. And that way, hopefully it helps in your planning process. When you go and you pick out things, you can think like, oh, this didn't like half day sun. It looked way better in full day sun, so maybe it would work for this space in my garden. That's what I'm hoping it does. Either way, fun to play with plants no matter what. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.